we just listen to the customer. And, we have a really passionate group of customers out there that are wearing Shady Rays, supporting Shady Rays, or spreading the word. And that's the best source of information on what we can do better and what we can do differently.
If you're a C-level executive and you're not talking personally to your customers, you're missing the boat, says today's Ask an Expert. Hi, I'm Joshua Carlson, co-founder of Propelo Media, and today I sit down with Dan Ratterman. He's the COO of Shady Rays, one of the fastest growing sunglass companies in the space, going toe-to-toe with the biggest brands and literally winning consistently with their head-to-head taste test challenges. Now let's hear what Dan has to say. Dan, thank you so much for coming on our Ask an Expert. I'm happy to have you on today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Excited to be a part of this.
All right, so Shady Rays is a company that I've known for several years. I am a customer, a very happy one. So this is why I was kind of interested. I was ordering a new pair of sunglasses, actually a couple this summer, and I'm like, hey, I need to get these guys on the show. So I wanted to talk to you guys just about your business in the beginning. What was kind of the problem in the marketplace that you saw that you guys were like, hey, we think there's a better way to do this?
Yeah, absolutely. First off, appreciate you being a customer. Always great to hear. Hopefully they've been holding up well for you. But yeah, back in, we were founded around 10 years ago by my brother Chris. And it stemmed from a realization that in the eyewear industry at the time, in the sunglasses market specifically, there were a lot of people buying from, very well-known brands at 150, 200 plus dollars. And many people would purchase those and at some point would lose or break them. And at that moment, they were faced with a decision. You either have to go back and buy another pair of sunglasses at a similar price point, or go to a gas station and buy a $5 pair that's going to typically not be that great of quality. And it was these two extremes that people, in this dilemma that people were forced with, but there was really nothing in the middle. So what we were able to do and have developed over the course of the last 10 years is come out with a product that is made of premium materials, very stylish, able to, be a really fantastic pair of sunglasses for a customer. But if you lose or break them, we send you a replacement for just the cost of shipping. And our goal is that, we really promote the outdoor lifestyle. Our team loves to go out and take the adventure and do awesome things. And we want a lot of our customers are doing those same things. We want somebody to be able to go out and go hiking, go on their boat, go, play sports with their friends. And if something happens to their sunglasses, all you do, you let us know, no loopholes, make it as easy as can be, let us know. And a few days later, there's a new box, a new doorstep, and you're ready to go for the next weekend. And as we started, spreading that word and talking to customers about that whole philosophy, people really resonated, and it really became the beginning of growing this concept in this business.
Which is awesome, because I don't know how old some of our listeners are, but if you're as old as me, I do remember the subscription sunglass service back in the day, which were like total crap. You got them and you were excited, but they did break instantly, and you realize, actually, I'm on the hook to buy another 24 of these. Like, this
Right.
is not a good solution. How have you guys kind of seen your business model evolve? Because I do understand this niche, high dollar sunglasses, and I think the quintessential is like somebody gets in the car and they forgot that the glasses, right? There's 1,000 different ways that glasses get damaged. Where do you guys see yourself in a much more, what I would assume to be competitive landscape in that mid-tier sunglass range? Where are you trying to position yourselves today as a sunglass provider? Is it more on the quality side of things? Is it the stylist? Like, where are you guys seeing this evolving to?
Yeah, great question. So a big focus for us is around quality. As part of that value proposition is ensuring that, even though you're paying a fraction of what some other brands charge, you're still getting an extremely high quality pair of sunglasses. And, and customers have options as well. If you look on our site, we have different levels of price, all under $100, but you can get a basic pair of sunglasses. You could also upgrade to different lens technology. We have different frame technology, and allow the customer to choose, what certain features and aspects they want within those sunglasses. And ultimately, how we determine what a lot of those things are is we just listen to the customer. And we have a really passionate group of customers out there that are wearing Shady Rays, supporting Shady Rays, or spreading the word. And that's the best source of information on what we can do better and what we can do differently. So, we get feedback all the time directly from our customers. In some cases, myself and Chris, my brother, and our CEO. I mean, we've had video calls just with random customers who have purchased 5, 6, 7 times. We're like, this person loves Shady Rays. We need to know what they love about it, and also what would they like differently. And that's led to some of our biggest innovations is just understanding what the customer needs, and that drives how we design our business to continue to support that next level of service that the customer really wants and will appreciate.
So I'm kind of fascinated by this because I do think, obviously you guys started small, right? You started as nothing back in the day, 10 years ago, but you guys have scaled rather quickly over that period of time. I'm impressed to hear that like C-level executives are jumping on the call with customers. Where did that come from you guys? Like what was the genesis to do that with you guys personally? Because obviously we all have teams that touch our customers day in and day out, whether that's customer service, customer experience, customer success, you name it. But like, why you guys? Like, what was the genesis for that?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're always looking at, what does the future hold for us? And we're looking, in many cases, many years ahead on how we grow the business and how we reach these new levels. And in a lot of those conversations, they revolve around new big initiatives and product and marketing and things we can do, all in regard to what the customer sees and feels. And as we started asking ourselves, what are these things we want to strive for? It's all around the customer. We're like, we need to break this down to the basics. Let's look at the fundamentals and figure out who really is the customer and what really do they need. Now we do a lot of surveys. We get customer information, that's incoming through emails where, we're looking at a lot of different data and metrics all the time.
Yeah.
But what was missing through all the data and all the analytics was a bit of the personal touch, right? For myself personally, like, I love a good Excel spreadsheet. I love a graph and a chart where I can see, a breakdown of like the percentage of requests of inquiries we've gotten and how it's all separated. But there's a difference between that and literally getting on the phone with somebody and hearing the emotion and the feeling in their voice and in their eyes when they say, "Hey, I need safety glasses." I love Shady Rays, but when I'm out mowing the grass, like I want to have safety glasses, and I would love to buy them Shady Rays, but don't offer it. And if we can like put together some of these stories that we hear from people, that's just one small example. There's many examples that we've heard that have led to these new innovations. And it's just basically the simplest form of going all the way down to the basics of how can we include our customers as part of this journey. And it's proven to be successful. That's where we've gotten a lot of inspiration and to continue to drive the business forward.
Well, it seems so common sense, right? Like, let's listen to our customers and follow what they want, and they will continue buying from us. And yet businesses do struggle. What do you guys put as like, is it this approach, the customer, centric approach? Like where, if you were to hang your hat on something as far as being able to suddenly go toe to toe with the big brands in the space, of which there are, several, is it that customer centric approach that you guys really feel like has helped separate you to go head to head with these kind of Goliaths in the space?
I think it's a big piece of it. Yeah, I think that we're at a level where our whole team is constantly figuring out ways that we can get better every single day. That's an approach that a lot of people on our team live by, and it's just a spirit of continuous improvement. And it's waking up each day and just knowing that, hey, we don't need to go out and hit a home run today, but if we can just make one thing a little bit better and do that every single day over the course of a week or a month or a year, things are going to look a lot different. They're going to be a lot more efficient. And that goes in any part of the business, right? From our operations and our fulfillment team, and how do we get products shipped to the customer just a little bit faster? How do we get products to our customer service team? How do we respond to the customer just a little bit faster? But also in our retail teams, right? We've been opening up retail stores across the country, and that's a whole different model where we get all types of different information and different insights about our customer. I went earlier this year. I went around to a lot of our stores around the country, and I went to our Denver store and worked in the store for a weekend for about 3 days straight, just talking with customers, talking with the team, understanding the types of customers that are in this mall. Did the same thing in our Scottsdale store. Spent time in other stores, and it's very unique and a really incredible opportunity to see how the team interacts with customers and seeing how customers are looking at different products. If they put products on their face, do they immediately purchase and run to the register and they love it when they put it on, or are they thinking, looks a little too big, feels a little too big, right? Sunglasses is something that some people might think it's kind of a one size fits all, but in reality, faces are very differently shaped. I've got a weird shaped face myself, as does just about everybody in one way, shape, or form. Right. So understanding what the fit is, understanding what the sizing is, It's very cool. But that's a mindset across really a lot of people among our teams, is just find ways to get a little bit better in any sense of the word, no matter what somebody's position is.
Well, I love hearing that. So obviously the customer experience is an important one. And as a shopper, I can personally share that this is actually what kind of piqued my interest. Like, I love your guys' product. You guys genuinely have a beautiful product. It's priced really reasonably, great aspects as far as the return policy and things. But like, I made a mistake. Right. So I realized I'd made a mistake and I'm like, crap. There's nothing worse than like you hit submit, checkout, and like you realize 2 days or an hour later, or whatever, I reached out to your team. Not only were they incredibly responsive, but like there was personality in it. Like, it actually made me feel like they cared about me. And mind you, I'm buying 2 pair of sunglasses, right? I'm not making or breaking Shady. Like this order isn't, but like I felt important. Like, what is it about the customer experience? Like, what do you do? Do you find the right people to hire to do that? Or do you guys have a unique kind of training process that helps elevate that customer experience?
Yeah, it's a combination.
Yeah.
The first step of the process, we want to bring on the right types of people, and when we're interviewing for people, I mean, we are looking for the right character and the right mindset to come in with a good work ethic. That's really what we're hiring for. If we have somebody that has the right attitude and the right mindset, we can train them to do anything.
Right.
But it's starting with those people that they care about their work, they care about what they're doing. They take pride in the fact that we've been a growing business and that we're doing a lot of good in the world. We're able to help a lot of people with the work that we're doing with Shady Rays, and a lot of our employees are here because of that. And we focus on making sure that we have the right benefits and some good incentives as a Shady Rays employee, and having high quality people that are moral people that want to do the right thing is crucial. And then once people are on, especially in our customer service team that you just mentioned, I mean, every single customer is an opportunity to make somebody's day better, to make their experience with Shady Rays better.
Yeah.
And right there's no customer thing, oh, they just need this, we don't care about that request. You're getting a personalized touch on
Yeah.
everything that comes through. And that's what creates, it turns a lot of people from maybe a medium fan, maybe somebody that likes Shady Rays and needed some sunglasses. Then if they have that personal experience, in many cases that can turn them into like a real super fan, somebody that's
Yeah.
then telling their friends, someone that's spreading the word. And if we can get people to spread the word, that's to their friends, to their family, that's the best type of
Priceless.
sales
Yeah.
that we can do. It's priceless, exactly right.
Yeah. I want to talk about core values. So one of you guys' core values is around testing, testing, testing. We've already kind of alluded to it, but I want to just dig it a little bit deeper. And we don't have to get into the actual KPIs, specific numbers themselves, but you did talk about looking as far as engagement, right? Looking at these different numbers. Like, what is the testing philosophy? Like, if I buy a pair of sunglasses today, how long ago did you guys start thinking of those? Like, what is the iteration between like a concept to going through testing to focus groups to store? Like, walk me through kind of that process for you guys from a product testing standpoint.
Yeah, it can be a really long time.
Yeah.
It can vary by style, but we have some products that have really unique features that are unique to Shady Rays, and some of those can be multiple years in some cases. Um, you know, for example, we have a pair called React, and it has magnetic interchangeable lenses, and very unique, right? Very different than typically what you would see in the market, and it took multiple years to get that right. We have many, many, many prototypes of different iterations of that until we finally got it right, and then we have the manufacturing process, which can take some time. But yeah, I mean, it's a big team effort. Ultimately, it kind of starts with understanding, what needs are there for our
Mhm.
customers, and what's the best styles for the brand, and then we start down the process of designing a pair of sunglasses that can help meet that need. And then there can be many prototypes along the way to make sure the product's right. We're always looking at the quality to make sure that the materials are right, the shape is right, the fit is right. We're putting it on a lot of faces along the way. We're getting a lot of feedback from many different teams in Shady Rays, but also family and friends and customers of Shady Rays,
Right.
until we ultimately say this is the best product that we feel like is going to give the best experience, and then we'll move forward. And then even once we do launch it and we get it, keeping a very close eye on what sales are like for it, what returns are like, what craftsmanship claims are like. Like we want to be sure that once we launch it, that's going smoothly and there's no adjustments that need to be made.
So I think everything you just said sounds amazing. I have to imagine sometimes you get those numbers, those metrics coming back, and you're like, this has gone sideways. Like we thought we'd done everything. Like, and I guess what I want to ask is how important is failure as part of this testing process for you guys? Because obviously, I think sunglasses are an interesting business that you guys are in, right? Fundamentally, you could say, well, they're to shield my eyes from the sun, right? Okay, get it. Like I could go around in a welder's cap, right? Like, and that would serve a purpose, but it is much more fashion forward. And I think as much as customers may say they have an interest, like you mentioned, I want safety glasses, but what do those look like? And so you guys do have to take some leaps and some faith. Like, how important is failure as you go through that process for you guys?
Oh, it's huge. And it happens all the time. It's kind of the unsung hero of the business. It's like
Okay.
when you look at a lot of businesses and when a lot of people look at Shady Rays, it's like, wow, look at this awesome thing. There's these great products. There's these, this awesome growth. It's gone from the family living room to where it is today in these incredible ways. But it's really been a lot of small failures and some large failures, which are really the stepping stones to get there. And that's something that we're always talking about and looking at is, a lot of these situations that don't go right, maybe a pair of sunglasses that isn't good or, different situations within the business, are really just ways to learn on how we need to do things differently or do things better the next time. In some cases, they could have been preventable. In some cases, it's completely outside forces that, cause some of these challenges.
Yeah.
But no matter what it is, we really do a good job and really work on looking back on those and understanding, hey, this happened. Why did it happen? Was it something within our control or something without our control? And then most importantly, looking forward, what can we do what can we put in place? What can we do? What can we be ready for to prevent something like that happening again?
Right. So I want to shift a little bit here and I want to talk about a different kind of test. And this is the blind glasses test. So I saw a video online. You guys actually went out to the streets and you put sunglasses in front of people and asked them to evaluate, like, is this brand A or brand B kind of thing? Walk me through what that's like, because I do think it's interesting. There's a perception if I'm not spending $150, I'm not getting quality, right? Oh, you didn't spend $200 on it. And you guys clearly ran into that challenge early, which I assume is where this taste test came from. But like, walk me through how that went for you guys.
Yeah, love it. Love that question. So I personally did a lot of these blind shade tests just a few months ago out in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is where we have one of our retail stores. And what you say is accurate. There is a lot of, general understanding of like price determines quality. But our whole proof point is to say, hey, we're significantly lower priced, but we still have the same or better quality. So that's exactly. So what we did was we went out. We've done this with multiple parts, multiple employees within the business and in multiple cities. But in this case, what I could speak most closely to, because I was the one doing it, was in Scottsdale, and there's a really, really nice shopping center out there where our store is. And we spent a few hours walking around, and I had one pair of Shady Rays where we had black tape over the logos.
Yep.
And then another pair of a big name brand that cost about 4 times what Shady Rays was selling for, and also covered up the logos with tape on that. And would go up to random strangers. We had a person filming it, and I would say, "Hey, we've got 2 sunglasses here. I want you to try them both on. I want you to, look around in them, get a feel for how they sit on your face, and then let me know which one you would prefer." And around 75 to 80% of people chose the Shady Rays. Some of them just said, "I like them both. They're the same to me. I'd take either one. I don't really have a preference." Which that's a win as well. But yeah, the majority of people outright selected Shady Rays, and it's always a fun moment at that point to take off the tape and show them, hey, these are Shady Rays. These are a fraction of the price of the big name brands, and talk about our lost and broken protection.
Yeah.
Talk about the do good initiatives that come along with it. But it's a cool real life way to get these out in the open and really put them to the test with, there's no conversation before these. If you ever come across these videos on your Instagram or TikTok or whatever, like,
yeah,
I mean, we're walking up to strangers. There's no preface to any of these things. We walk up, we film the video, and they get to walk away with 3 pair of shades.
which is awesome. And it's a cool, real example of how that quality does hold up.
Mhm.
I want to just talk about what you just referenced, which is video, right? You've got somebody going around videoing this. For your guys' business, how important has video been to be able to communicate these different types of messages?
Yeah, for us, it's huge. I mean, one thing that we really focus on is we are a group, we have a really passionate group of employees. So where video really has played an important part for us even more and more over the years is using video to give our brand a even more of a personality than it already has. We have team members that do really incredible things, uh, and that are very on brand as well. Like we actually support as a benefit of working with Shady Rays, people get adventure days where we'll pay for them to go take a half day, and we'll give them a stipend to go do things like rock climbing, skydiving, or even go on a hike in a park. Like it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
something overly extreme, but we have some awesome employees that really make up the real identity of the brand. We also have customers doing the same thing. We also do a lot of volunteering events with our
Yeah.
employees that support some really incredible causes. And being able to capture this is awesome, both to share, internally with our team,
Yeah.
to put on our social media accounts so that our fans out there see that, they're not just supporting some conglomerate, they're supporting a business that's actually giving back, in many cases to the same communities where these people live.
Right.
So video has been a great way to build like our brand identity. Now we use it other ways too. A lot of our ads and things,
Sure.
use videos, also extremely important. But that's kind of a unique way that we really utilize video, is bringing our brand to life.
I think a lot of businesses, as they're thinking about video, great, because we do have the traditional, right? Hey, we're shooting an ad, right? Like, okay, yeah, that's high def, right? We get that, but like a lot of businesses, I feel, are nervous, are apprehensive to kind of get into this like real time video, right? It's happening now. Like, I got an idea, let's go shoot it, even if it's just on a cell phone. Like, what were your like if you were talking to a business that's thinking about that? What do you tell them to like, hey, just blow past that, right? Like jump into the pool. You're gonna struggle a little bit, but like I promise you, you're gonna come up to the surface and like you're gonna start making traction. Like what would you share to a business?
Yeah, I would just share that. I mean, the best way to learn what does work is by doing things initially that probably don't work, right?
Yeah,
I mean, if you're concerned that, oh, these first ones might not be great, well, film some, and probably some of them won't be great, but that's okay because you'll learn that too.
yeah,
So it's kind of, once you can get through some of those initial heartburns, it's only going to get better from there.
yeah,
Um, and ultimately, you'll kind of find your niche, find your groove, and have success with it. But getting started is probably the hardest part.
yeah. Jump in.
Right.
Make those
Exactly.
mistakes early, right? Right. Let's talk about some of the do good. So, it sounds like that's an important part of your guys' business is giving back to community. Where does that come from? What are you guys doing? Open the doors to that.
Yeah, I will, and I'll take it back a little bit from the beginning,
Sure.
through some of the things that we're doing today, because it's been a core part of the business, and it's been a really cool way that it's evolved over the years.
Mhm.
So back when the company was first founded, by my brother Chris, so from the very first order, it was crucial that there was some positive aspect, something good happening in the world because of this, right? Selling sunglasses is exciting, but it's especially exciting when there's something even bigger behind it that's being supported. And
Right.
at that point, it was donating 10 meals with every order, donating 10 meals to the hungry. So from literally the first order ever, which back in when the company was founded, it was maybe getting one order every few days, right? It wasn't many,
Yeah.
but donating 10 meals to the hungry. And that continued for the majority of the business. Today, we've now donated over 25 million meals to the hungry.
Congratulations.
And yeah, so it's really cool for the actual good that we're doing in the world. It's really
Yeah.
good. Our employees love it. It's a great win-win-win all the way around. Um, but what we started doing this past year was we said, hey, we have done tremendous work donating meals. How can we make an even bigger impact and do even more and do things that allow our employees to get more involved, allow our customers to get involved, allow us to, have these experiences that really bring the brand to life and make as big of an impact as we possibly can. And we came out with what's called our Shady Rays Impact Program,
Okay.
and we primarily support 4 main causes.
Okay.
And one of them continues to be donating meals to the hungry. So that's continuing. We have not dropped that, but we're still donating meals. But another one is called Rock Solid, and it is an incredible organization. And what happens is uh, our team now on several occasions will volunteer. We'll get around 15 Shady Rays volunteers, and we will build a playset, big, massive playset. And it'll be for a young child. And I went on one recently, and there was a little 3-year-old boy named Logan and he has leukemia. And we spent about 4 hours, our team, building this playset, this huge playset. And when it was complete, Logan, his parents, and his sister pulled up in a limo. And they get out of the limo and they look at it, and you see this massive playset. It was covered with Ninja Turtles, which is his favorite toy. And, in that moment, he's looking at this playset, and like it is, you look at Logan's face, nothing but a smile. His parents' faces, smiles. His sister, smiling. The whole Shady Rays team, smiling. Everybody there, supporters, everybody. Like in this moment, it was all positive.
Right.
And he gets to see this playset, run towards it, go play on it, gets to take it home with him. We built this actually at one of our retail stores in Lexington, Kentucky, and then they got to bring it home, and we had it moved for him. And really incredible experience to be able to give back and do that. We all wrote inspirational messages on it in Sharpie, and just an incredible way to give back to the community and involve a lot of the team. So that's one particular aspect that we're doing, which is really, really cool. Another one is an organization called First Ascents. So this organization is great. It is, what happens is there are adventure, kind of like an adventure retreat.
Yeah.
It's a week long, about 6 to 7 days. And a group of about 15 individuals that have recently been affected by cancer will go on this. And I had the incredible opportunity just a few weeks ago, actually, to go as a volunteer on one of these trips. So I just got back a few weeks ago. I was out in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado with a group of 15 individuals that have recently been affected by cancer.
Yep.
We had another member of the Shady Rays team there as a volunteer as well, and we spent 6 days rock climbing. I myself, I am not a rock climber. I've never rock climbed. I thought that I was going to be like volunteering and helping and like washing the dishes, but I was in fact actually rock climbing with everybody. I don't love heights, but I went for it.
I think you're a rock climber now. Then I mean, I think
I'm
that's
now officially a rock climber. When I got there, I rolled up and they were like, "Oh, are you okay with heights?" And I'm like, "Not really." And they're like, "This is a rock climbing trip, right?" I'm like, probably on the wrong one, but okay, we're going to give it a go. So it was incredible. It was really incredible. I mean, these people I'm climbing with, like the last day we did, I don't know how much you know about rock climbing. I didn't know anything until this trip, but it's a multi-pitch climb. It was a 200-foot rock, and it took about 2 hours to climb this. And then we rappelled down the other side. And you rely on your partner very heavily. And my partner, day one of the retreat was talking about how she has had major surgeries on her shoulders and arms and has not used her upper body in 2 years and didn't think she would ever be able to use her upper body again for the rest of her life.
Wow.
A few days later, her and I are partners on this climb. It's a 2-hour climb, 200 feet in the air. And we're relying on each other to climb this vertical rock out in the open, pretty intense climb.
Yeah.
And she's out there doing it with no hesitation, no fear, just looks at it, goes up, and she's going right up this thing. It was incredible. There's another woman who says that she, in many cases, can barely go up her stairs at home.
Right.
And then, that's what she's saying on day 1. And by day 4, I mean, she sees a literal rock wall, walks up to it, and she's climbing up this thing. I mean, the amount of just persistence and like just it's very, very inspirational, very powerful to see this.
Yeah, for sure.
Shady Rays paid for this entire trip, right? That's kind of how we give back. We send volunteers on these trips, but we also paid for the entire trip for all the volunteers, all the food, all the lodging. So just a really great way to give back, and it's a way to make it real, make it genuine. Yeah. It goes back to what you asked before about us versus some of the bigger brands, not just in sunglasses, but just in general. A lot of brands, in many cases, kind of lose their identity. But this is truly what Shady Rays is about. This has been part of the DNA from the very beginning when it was Chris in the side bedroom, and now we have a large team, and we have this opportunity to really make a big impact. Getting to do things like this for myself, for Chris, but also for the entire team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good reason to wake up every day and put in the hard work to make it happen.
Good for you guys. I work with a major nonprofit in the Bay Area. They're a credit union, and like one of the biggest things that they celebrate every year is how many volunteer hours that they just give back to the community. Like they pledge money and they do incredible stuff, but it's like the actual involvement of your colleague, right? That you're battling shoulder to shoulder for your work stuff, but like breaking out of that and being able to see how you can make an impact on somebody's life firsthand, like that's just a tremendous benefit that you guys are providing.
Yeah, it really is. It puts a whole different perspective on things because so much of the day is focused on, we're all answering emails and, we got to fulfill the orders and we got to answer the customer tickets and all these things.
Yeah.
But then when you stop in that moment, when you see, Logan, 3-year-old boy with leukemia, getting out of a limo and his whole family's in tears by like the happiness, it's just, it puts a whole different perspective on really all of the work. And just knowing, even on those days that are long and filled with meetings and, all this is going on, you think, well, look, we're working hard to push this thing forward. And then you get those, those other moments of like seeing the good that we're doing in the world. It's pretty inspiring.
Very
inspiring.
Cool. All right, we're going to jump into the quick fire round. So don't think, just react when we go through these quick questions, rapid fire. Do you have a favorite podcast that you're listening to right
now? Favorite podcast? I've got a favorite audiobook. Can I answer with that?
Yeah, let's go with that.
I'm currently reading Smarter, Faster, Better by Charles Duhigg. He also writes The Power of Habit, two of my favorite books.
Okay. All right. That's a good one. Do you have a professional inspiration that you kind of look up to? And it could be your brother. It could be somebody else out in the space. It could be, Einstein. I don't know, whoever. Who's your inspiration professionally?
Yeah, I think my dad.
Okay.
Yeah, he was involved really, really early on. And he actually, when we were working in the living room, he was packing a lot of the orders. He was retired from his normal job. A few years later, so this was just a few years ago, he unexpectedly passed away.
Okay.
But his spirit lives on with us. I mean, he's
Sure.
a motivation in terms of, the lessons he's instilled in myself, my brother. And I think he's a great motivator and reason to keep on driving.
Well, as a father, I can just tell you that like seeing what you guys are doing, I can only imagine how happy he was and still is. So kudos to you guys for having a great role model to look up to. Early riser or burning the midnight oil?
Early riser, for sure. Yeah, I'm up 5:30 every day.
Okay, back at you. Last one and my favorite. What's your favorite pizza?
Chicken bacon ranch.
Chicken. Okay. All right. Solid. I'm a bacon guy myself, so that sounds good. Okay. So I want to jump back into it. I had a guest on here, Cameron Harold. He was the COO for 1-800-GOT-JUNK. And, he kind of talked about how the business, evolved and how important it was for him, as well as Brian Scudamore, the founder, to really work together as a team. Now you are the COO, your brother is the CEO. Talk to me about the dynamic. And I guess, it's hard to strip family out of a dynamic when it is your brother, but like professionally speaking, like how do you guys make that relationship work well for Shady Ray?
Yeah, that's cool. You've had Cameron Harrell on here. I know all about him. He's very involved with like EOS and I actually just finished a few days ago the book Rocket Fuel, which is all about the visionary and integrator roles, which probably is along the lines of what he talked about as well. So yeah, we are. So Chris and I, we were just talking about this yesterday, literally. If you read that book, I mean, Chris he's a visionary through and through, always has many great ideas, and I can relate to the integrator role in a lot of ways. And the relationship is absolutely crucial. I mean, the good news is a lot of people are like, hey, you work with your brother. I could never work with a sibling. Like, how do you all pull it off? You must be fighting all the time. And the reality is we don't. We actually work extremely well together.
Yeah.
I mean, he's, an incredible businessman and an incredible brother, and we work really, really well. We think the same in a lot of ways, but we also think differently in a lot of ways.
Right.
A lot of things we think differently on is we have different perspectives from kind of our background. He's a marketing and business, he was between schooling and his experience on a marketing and business background. For myself, I have an engineering degree. My jobs before Shady Rays were in operations and supply chain management.
Okay.
And it's a dangerous combination, very complementary skill sets, which has been very
100%.
useful
Yeah.
to grow the business. So, when he feels passionate about decisions, I mean, it's generally the right decision. And when I'm pushing things forward and making decisions, usually it's the right decision for a different part of the business. And yeah, it's 100% crucial that relationship has to be right. And it's a very intentional part of our day is to make sure that we're staying in lockstep to keep things going well.
So I'm going to take the brother thing out of it because I have a brother and I actually would love an opportunity to work with him. So I don't get those other people out there. They're like, how do you work with
Right.
your brother? Right. But like, take it a little bit further. Like, how important to the success of Shady Rays do you think that you guys do have different perspectives, that you do have different skill sets? Because that was the big takeaway I got from Cameron, which was like, hey, if you're the CEO, go find somebody that's like great at all the stuff that either you're not good at or you struggle with, but like find that yin to your yang. Like, how important has that dynamic between you both been for the success of Shady Ray?
Yeah, it's been huge, and it's gone really even further past just me and my brother. We've now hired on many great leaders and many great people with very varying levels of experience on our team. So, now we have a leadership team, and we have lots of people on our team that when we involve, different people in different decisions, different projects, different initiatives, I mean, it's very intentional. We want people in these conversations that come with very differing opinions.
Right.
And we get that. I mean, we have leaders that have spent their entire career in one particular aspect of a business, and other leaders a whole career in another aspect of the business. And we can all put our minds together and see some certain project or initiative from all the different sides. I mean, that's how we can ultimately get to our best decision we can make. So it is a great that, I have a certain perspective, my brother does too, but the team that we have is incredible. I feel fortunate I get to work with the people that I work with every day. I mean, I get smarter every day working with these people and learning from our team. And when we put our heads together, it's dangerous. We got a good group.
Kudos to you guys. I want to talk about, I really want to spend the rest of the conversation. You guys are an e-com business, right? So straight to direct to consumer. And you guys recently have started building brick and mortar locations. I want to talk about this direction because so many directional businesses are looking like, hey, how can we get more e-com presence, right? How can we penetrate deeper into the internet, whether that's Amazon, all these different things. You guys are saying like, no, like we see an opportunity to actually have pop-ups, or not actual pop-ups, but like legitimate brick and mortar. Where did this idea come from? How is it working? Unload and we'll just dig in.
Yeah, a lot of it comes right back to what I was talking about at the beginning of this, which is about the customer experience. And we have been growing for many years, just entirely online was how the business was initially built. And all this focus on, our website, having a great, good looking website, easy, seamless transition to get on the website, to move through the website, to ultimately purchase and to learn about the business. And the idea with retail was, hey, how do we make this website like in person? How do we take this into real life? And decided to open up a retail store to see how we can bring the website, to real life. And we opened up one in Lexington, Kentucky. We chose that space because it's just down the street from
Backyard.
Yeah, backyard basically. So
Yeah.
great location to be. And we're able to bring it to life. We started with one so we could really learn what that looked like. And walking into the store is really incredible. I mean, we've got a lot of different products, a lot of different SKUs, all displayed beautifully with big windows and big, bright, awesome center. We make sure our stores are clean, they're organized, they're simple, but yet they give a good selection of everything that we have to offer. And we wanted to see what that did for kind of the visuals of our products, but we also wanted to see how we can affect a market. In a lot of ways, we have a good presence in a lot of different areas of the country, but with the retail store, we could go into one particular area and really become a known brand, a known business right there in that area. And that's what we've been able to do with these stores is, go into these areas where we have a good presence and then continue to just build that community, right? We're actively looking at ways to build community, whether that means people coming to the store and find us, or whether we go to events around the area to find them, but ultimately build this community of people that know about Shady Rays, that have Shady Rays, that spread the word, that, when they're thinking about what sunglasses do I want? Shady Rays is part of that conversation that they're having in their own head, right? We're part of
Yeah.
kind of the everyday thought of what sunglasses are available in the area, and it's been really cool to be able to go in some of these areas and create that presence. When we opened up our Scottsdale, Arizona store, I went out there for the opening and got there about an hour before opening. Pull up to the store and there's a line of people in lawn chairs waiting to come in for the opening in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's halfway across the country.
Yeah.
And I'm walking up, talking to everybody, and just thanking them for being there. It was really incredible. They were like, "We were so excited for Shady Rays to come here. I've been a fan for so long." And it comes back to kind of what I was saying earlier, where we can look at data and see the sales in different regions. Right? We look at data all the time of how many sales are going where and what all it's looking like. And so we know that we have a presence in Scottsdale, but it's a really incredible thing to be able to walk up to the grand opening of the store and see somebody who's been sitting in a lawn chair for literal hours
Yeah.
and talk to them and feel that passion, that excitement that they have, that we're there. They can come shop, they can see everything, they can be a part of this. Pretty cool.
So how many stores do you guys have open right now?
We have 5.
You have 5. How many are in, do you have any soon to be open?
We're always looking at opportunities.
Okay.
So, it'll be seeing kind of what comes down the pipeline, but 5 open right now, and we'll see what the future holds.
What have you learned? Because I think it's interesting. You guys obviously have a fantastic return policy. And so it's easy to order through you guys online, which is kind of it's a must, but it's a completely different opportunity to go in and actually try on a bunch of different pairs, right? So what have you learned versus the e-com kind of, CX versus, the in-store, what's overlapping, what's not? What do you wish you knew before you opened that first Lexington? I mean, there been any discoveries?
Yeah, there have been some great discoveries in retail. One of them will be a great proof of concept, or a great confirmation about our quality.
Okay.
So how our team has come to this conclusion is in retail stores, when we have a really cool product quality feature that does have a bit of a higher price tag, but really gives some incredible technology, they sell at an extremely high rate in retail stores. So online, they'll sell okay too, but in some cases, right, if you're looking at a picture, it's hard for a customer to really feel like they can see that difference.
Right.
And we do our best to show it, right? Maybe that's like looking through, we have what's called the color rush lens, and it's you really get a great color pop when you're looking through this and the world looks brighter, more colorful. Right. It's one thing if we're talking about it on the website and showing pictures, but what we see is when customers go to a retail store and they put those on their face and they look outside, more times than not, they're buying it.
Right.
And we get on the website, we're trying as hard as we can to really show people this is the real deal. This is great. But the best way to prove it is just say, hey, put this on your face. See what you think. How does this compare to, whatever pair they walked in the store with, right? They can take that off their head, compare to this. When they put them on, people say generally, I mean, they're excited about it and they're buying it. So it's a great confirmation of the quality that we have, because it shows that people, they appreciate some of these features, and they're, they once they try it and they see, wow, this is the real deal. I mean, most people are walking out with a nice pair of sunglasses on their head.
Makes total sense. What has retail taught you maybe about e-com, right? You guys have been in the e-com space. Has there been anything that you hey, there's something and how do we translate this to the e-com experience?
That's a great question. That's a really great question. It's probably along the lines of, there's a lot of relation between what order we show products in.
Okay.
In the retail store, we do a lot of different strategies in terms of what's showing in the windows, what's showing in the front table as soon as you walk in the door. Correlation on the website is what are you showing on your homepage? If you click on products, what are the top products that show up?
Yeah.
Kind of similar strategies at the same take.
Yep.
But retail is, that can have a big swing based on what you have in the front, what you have in the window, what you have on the entry table.
Yeah.
And those learnings, I mean, they definitely can go back and forth on which one, what could be the right way to order things.
Okay. Is there anything we haven't talked about that you think it's important for business owners to think about as we're heading into 2024?
I think the number one thing is staying nimble. We do a lot of planning. We do a lot of, strategy on how we can make next year and the following year and the following year success.
Yeah.
But the reality is we get into these different years in any part of the business, things just happen. And, we either can watch it happen and be frustrated by it, or we can take action and do something to make ourselves better because of it. And you never know what those things are going to be. I mean, literally, the one random example that comes to mind is, our fulfillment team. We were doing absolutely incredible job last Black Friday. We're packing orders out just a couple hours after they were getting placed. All was perfect. And, I really got to blame myself for this, because I think I might have even said out loud, what could possibly go wrong? Like, we're at like the 1 yard line, like we're good. And it wasn't an hour after I said that when a truck drove into the transformer and cut our entire internet and our backup internet and our backup internet. Literally, I look out the window and there's a truck that had hit this massive block. It's never happened, but it happened. So, the lights are out, the systems are down, things like that. Becomes very important to become flexible. That's a very short-term example, but things like that unfortunately just happen on that scale or on much larger scales, and just staying flexible, staying nimble, and working to make sure, we're just working to get better every day.
Well, kudos to that. I think Nimble is a great place to think, especially heading into 2024. The past years have taught us the macro environment. It's going to keep us on our toes. So staying nimble is a great one. Dan, I want to thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you being a guest today.
Thanks so much for having me. Really enjoyed it.
Hey guys, I hope you liked today's Ask an Expert with Dan Ratterman. I was really impressed by the dynamic between the COO and the CEO relationship that they have. This is something that we talked about with COO expert Cameron Harold in past episode, but it really just alliterates the importance of that. I also like how they've stayed humble to their humble roots by being so philanthropic, and I really enjoyed how important the customer experience and customer relationship is. So until the next episode, please like, rate, review, subscribe, do all those fun things so you're notified when we drop our next episode. But until then, keep propelling your business forward.